says, "My sister shamed my wife for not breastfeeding, and I hate her for it. Our son eats a special prescription formula because of a medical issue. My wife has been donating her milk to a milk bank since our son can't eat it. My sister publicly shamed my wife for not breastfeeding on social media and then confronted her in public too. We don't even have social media, but we found out about it from one of my cousins. I told my sister she must apologize to my wife, and for the foreseeable future, she isn't welcome around them. My parents both passed away, and my sister thinks she has the authority. When she talked about my son needing special prescription formula, my sister didn't apologize. She just doubled down. She only said she didn't know later when people started defending my wife. As if that is an excuse for calling my wife out publicly. My wife felt like she had no choice now but to reveal our son's medical issue because my sister called her out so publicly. At least everyone is supporting my wife, but then my sister has the nerve to complain about everyone ostracizing her. I know I'm ranting, but I wish my sister had just kept her mouth shut. It was none of her business. I'm glad that my wife pushed back, but she shouldn't have had to. Imagine calling out the mother of a newborn over this. Even with all the support, this has been nothing but stress. My son is fine now, but getting his medical issue sorted was stressful enough. My wife didn't do anything wrong. Even if she didn't breastfeed for other reasons, it's none of my sister's business, and she should have kept her mouth shut. That's just so wild of that sister. That sister can honestly actually F off. Even if the child didn't have a medical issue, it's not your place to say anything about what her choice is and to how she feeds her baby. Like, I don't care what your opinion is for how you should feed your baby. If you think it's better to breastfeed or if you think it's better to have give formula, I don't care what your opinion is. You can use that and apply it to your own children because those are your own children. And that's totally fine. But to come in someone else's life and tell them what they should be doing, especially when the kid has a medical issue that he needs prescription formula for, is insane. And then regardless, it doesn't even matter because she is the mother. She decides how she's going to take care of her child. Okay, this is 3 years later. To start, I want to thank everyone who left a compassionate or supportive response comment to my last post. My wife and I both appreciated it. I remembered this post after seeing a post elsewhere on here talking about the same enzyme issue that my son has. The most important thing, my son is thriving. Now that we're aware of his enzyme issue, we are able to manage it. He's healthy and has met all of his milestones. His doctor is amazing, and my wife has been a rock star. My son will turn 3 in a couple of months. He is like any other kid his age, and he amazes me every day. I love watching him grow up. My son is alive because of the prescription formula. If we gave him breast milk or even regular formula, he would have died. I no longer have a relationship with my sister after how she treated my wife. Even after hearing that my son would die if he was given breast milk instead of the prescription formula, she continued to shame my wife. Meanwhile, my wife pumped milk for 3 months to donate it to a local milk bank. She was badass through this whole thing and never let my sister's stupidity get to her. My sister was 34 years old at the time, and she acted like a child. My sister wasn't even a parent and had no idea what having a baby was like. My wife and I no longer live in the same province as my sister, so it makes not having a relationship with her a lot easier. Even though she tried to backtrack once she was called out by me and other people, I can never forget the hell that she put my wife through during what was the worst time of our lives. My son almost died before the problem was figured out, and my sister publicly shamed my wife and said things that were just unforgivable. I don't care if she's changed or is a mother now or whatever. If anyone tries to defend or advocate for my sister, I cut them off. My sister is dead to me. I'm grateful to our loved ones who told us that my sister was publicly insulting my wife on social media. My wife and I don't have social media and backed up my wife over my sister. I recently received 2 really hateful messages last time I posted. One was just rambling nonsense, but the other one troubled me because it was from someone who is verified as a physician elsewhere on here. Even after telling him exactly what was medically wrong with my son, he still insisted that my wife was a bad mother who should be charged for not breastfeeding my son. I blocked him and no longer have the username or messages, but I was troubled by receiving a barrage of messages saying that my wife should be charged and prescription formula ought to be illegal. I try to let that roll off my back. I turned off the ability to get messages after that. My son is such an amazing little human, and my wife is a rock star. I know those things are more important than my sister or any nasty messages. I want to give a message to any parent who might be struggling. As long as your baby is being fed, it doesn't matter if it's breast milk or formula. Fed is best. You are doing amazing. You got this. Bro, I can't deal with people inserting their opinions on other people's lives and the way that they take care of their children. Like, okay, obviously, if a child is getting abused, but it's like that is simply just an opinion and simply just it is fine to feed your baby formula, okay? Whether it's a choice or you're just not able to breastfeed your baby, because a lot of women aren't able to and they go through hell trying to breastfeed their baby. But regardless, if you just decide you don't want to breastfeed your baby, it is okay to give your baby formula instead. Like, if that's not something that you want to do, you don't want to breastfeed, it's fine. That's your decision to make, and it's perfectly healthy. People piss me off, actually. Piss me off. Because imagine, like, I mean, I know that this girl could have breastfed if she, like, if her son didn't have a medical issue, because she was donating, like, months worth of breast milk. But on the other hand, I've heard of stories where people have to go to, like, breastfeeding like therapy to like learn how to try to get milk to come out, and sometimes it can be super hard because the baby could be like suckling but nothing's coming out, and then they're crying like for hours after, and you're wondering like, why is my baby crying? I just fed them, but meanwhile they're like starving because they haven't been able to get any milk out. And like, it can be really hard, and there's a lot of pressure on a woman as well to breastfeed because of people like this, and because and if you do like prefer breastfeeding, obviously that's okay as well. But I, like, when I have a baby, and also I've heard that when you breastfeed, and I don't know if this is real or not, I think it is, but I've heard when you breastfeed you get this like very overwhelming sensation. Okay, this says dysphoric milk ejection reflex. It is a rare condition, but I have heard someone talk about this. I've heard a couple people talk about this actually. A rare condition where mothers experience negative emotions such as sadness, anxiety, or depression during milk letdown. And I've heard about that. And also the fact that it's like painful sometimes as well. It's just crazy. It's like people do not give women and mothers enough credit at all. Simply, it's actually insane that women aren't like the leaders of the earth and of the entire world, and like the president and the governor of every state. And like, it just really pisses me off because women are so powerful and women are so strong and amazing. Like, God really is a woman. And it's so sad that like we don't get the credit that we deserve. Like, we make human beings in our own body. We literally make them and then we push them out of a tiny crevice and like sometimes rip that tiny crevice. And some women do it without medication. And also, have you guys heard of that, like, that fucking colposcopy? A colposcopy? Have any of you gotten one of those? Because if I ever have to get one of those, I will actually be so pissed off because they don't give you, like, pain meds for it, or, like, laughing gas, or, like, anesthesia or anything. And please, you guys know that if this was a man that had to do this, they would be babying the fuck out of these men. It's just really annoying. And we also have periods. Like, you don't even understand. You don't even understand. Like, No, I could go on and on about it. Like, I don't understand if you're a woman how you're not a feminist. Like, I don't understand how women that aren't feminists aren't feminists. Like, it's really confusing to me. It's almost like, I don't know. I get it because I was like raised in like a very conservative town, conservative family, religious family. And I definitely was taught growing up that like feminists were crazy and like demonic pretty much. But I could not be more of a feminist if I tried. Like, I am the most feminist ever. And it doesn't make sense to me how people, like grown-ups especially, like women over the age of 25, how they aren't feminists.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.